Hi, my kitty babies. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing great. Before I start my video, please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Also hit that post notification bell so you can know when I post. Okay. Y'all, so I'm tired, but I'm good. I been up again washing clothes. Woke up to wash clothes. Like I'm still washing clothes, y'all. Just whatever. So I have a story time of the first time I've ever been to jail. Grab your teacups, y'all. Uh, this is a story time where um, it's also talking about not ignoring the red flag. So, back then I met a guy. This was like 20, the end of 2010, or yeah, the end of 2010, or no. The beginning of 2011. And, I just started, dating him. Back then, dating was fun, man. I ain't gonna lie. Dating was so fun. Um, I just was so adventurous back then. I remember being. But, this guy, he was a cool dude, My family didn't like him, however, but, he was pretty cool with me, He didn't do nothing wrong to me at this time. Um, we, uh, we did so much together. This guy has taught me a lot. He taught me how to be independent. He taught me how to catch the city bus, how to apply for applications, and you know we done a lot together. From what I can remember, yeah. So in the time we were dating, our relationship was pretty cool. We never had no major like fights or anything, made no major arguments. I did speculate him lying about a lot of things, and one thing about me, if I feel like you're lying to me, I'm gonna confront you about it, and I have. But that's the most like it was never nothing like major or like red flaggish. Like, whoa, this is not gonna work. It was just, and I think this was like I want to say it was like a rebound type of relationship, but it probably was. I don't know. I mean, I was fresh out of a relationship, but again, this is like a moment where I just want to have some fun. I was kind of bored with life, and I wanted to have some fun. So I met him, and we went to school together actually. And come to find out, he had a crush on me in high school, which I did not know nothing about. He never told me about that. And he wasn't anyone who I would really, find interest in. He was short. He was like my skin complexion. I like dark skinned guys. I like tall guys. I like thick guys. Sometimes. I mean, I don't discriminate really. I don't discriminate. If you look at my dating history, you will see I really don't discriminate. Like, as long as you treat me good, as long as like you bring balance into my life, as long as you know. But he was very different from what I was used to. I've never dated a guy my complexion before, or a guy that was like as tall as me. But anyways, yeah. So like I said, we um we used to catch the bus a lot together, all over town. Go out to eat or just go to the mall and just window shop just to do something together. We literally spent every day together in the 2 years that we were together. I mean, there was not a day that we did not spend together. He would get up from work and come, spend time with me, spend a whole night with me. We used to do cute things like sit in the driveway and look at the moon and just talk all night, and then he would walk home. Like, we were like in walking distance from each other. Okay, some people may not think that it was walking distance because some people did not are not walkers. Some people are used to driving or like just they would not walk this far of a distance. But to me, it was right a strip. It was like a 20-minute walk, but it was it was worth it. For us. But we really we both really liked each other, and so we would walk that distance for each other. Well, again, like I said, no red flags. Well, um, but he did lie a lot about like the silliest things. He still to this day lies like this. But uh, I remember meeting his mom, and I met his brother. And his mama, she was nice, but she was saying stuff like, oh, he's, I was like say his name. Oh God, I'm not saying no names in my stories, okay? She was like, oh, so and so schizophrenic, and he put his hands on me, and this and that. And she just hit me with a lot. Again, our first time meeting, she just hit me with a lot. And I'm like, oh, well, it's not like It's not like I didn't believe her. It's just I didn't feel like she would do that to me. I don't know why I have that in my mind with people. I would think they wouldn't do that to me. I just, but he hadn't. Up until that point. I mean, from the time I met him to the time I met her, he hadn't shown any kind of signs of aggression. In fact, he was super patient. With me, and his communication skills were like on point. And so I'm like, I just didn't see it in him at the time, but I'm like, that was a red flag. His mom told me straight up, this is how he is. And she said he refused taking medication. So I questioned him about it. He's like, my mom's lying, my mom's lying, my mom's lying, my mom's lying, my mom's lying. So, I'm going to fast forward to, we were desperate to find an apartment because, I was staying with my grandparents and he's staying with his mom. His mom, she wouldn't always let him in the house. If he came home at a certain time, like I said, he would not go straight home after work. He would come to me after work and then stay with me until like 2, 3 in the morning and then walk home. And so she wouldn't let him in at that time because she like, that's too late to come into my house. And so there were times I used to sneak him in my grandparents' house with me. And I know they knew about it. I know they knew. Oh my God, it was bad. But just because I felt bad for him, his mom would let him in and whatever. So I was like, you know what? We gotta find our own place. Around this time, I was like in my early 20s, probably. I think. Yeah, I was in my early 20s, like 20, 21. We had to find our own place. So we used to apartment search. Well, first we had a job. We job searched. Because I remember when he met me, he had just lost his job at a certain place, and then he ended up getting another job because we both job searched, and yeah, we listen. He caught, like I said, he took me to catch the bus. So we used to job hunt. We used to go around the entire side of town that we stayed on, and we used to be up and through those places looking for jobs. And there you go, buddy. Ain't no You wasn't be in that room. You wasn't be in that room. What? Hi, guys. Y'all supposed to be in that room. Hi, Kid-Top. Okay, Debo, drinking my water. Hi, honey. Hi, Kid-Top. All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Go pick him up. Take him with you. Mwah. I love ya. Love ya, Ma. Bye-bye, buddy. Bye. Bye-bye. Here, take the water with him so you won't cry. Bye-bye, buddy. So anyway, we was all over applying for jobs and stuff, and I ended up finding my first like real job, and he ended up getting another job, and so we were making our money, trying to stack our bread so we can be able to afford to get us a place. Okay, fast forward a little bit. We ended up finding us a place. Well, let me go back because I have time. Okay, I have time. So before we found our place, I ended up leaving my grandparents' house, and I remember staying with my god sisters, and I remember telling them that I was going to be in my place like in a few weeks. But what had happened was the apartment that my god sister lived at, that's the apartment that we applied to. Okay, so the nice lady, she was willing to let us move in without a deposit. She gave us the key and everything. She said, well, just at the beginning of the month, pay your first month's rent, your rent, and your deposit together. We're like, okay, no problem. We got it, so we can do it. Well, that didn't work out because I remember he ended up getting into a fight with his dad, and he ended up going to jail, and I had to use our money to get him out. So that's something I have to talk about right now. That way you can understand why. You'll understand why later on. But yeah, I used our rent money to get him out. And so therefore we could not move into the apartment. And so Uh, so we stayed with his mom, and then I ended up getting another job at another place, and he still had the same job. No, he had a different. He was at a different place as well. Um, I'm gonna say the names of the jobs. Dunkin' Donuts. No, I'm lying. Not Dunkin' Donuts. What's the name of the place? Baker's Pride was where I was at, and he was at Dairy Queen. So we were staying with his mom and just trying to, be doing our thing, trying to get our money up and be doing our thing. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. So our first week, my first week at Biggest Pride, it was a couple. It was a couple working there. It was a lesbian couple. They were moving and they were saying they had a lot of stuff they needed to get rid of. And I'm like, well, I'm about to move soon, and y'all, my manifestation was on point, y'all. I didn't even apply for a place yet, but I just knew in my soul that I was gonna have me a place soon. And so I was like, I want y'all furniture. Y'all, they had couches, tables, lamps, like, and so they held it down for me. I lied and said I was gonna move in a week, and they were leaving in like a week or two. And I forgot how it went, but I remember lying and said I was gonna leave in a week. And so when I said that, I said, okay, I gotta put in the work to get this apartment because listen. So yeah, so we went back to the same apartment that we were going to go to the first time. We applied and then we ended up getting an apartment. And so yeah, I ended up moving in within that week. You know? And so we had furniture. We had a couch, and I already had my bed from when I was staying with my mom's, or my grandparents. And we had a bed, we had a couch, we had it was, matter of fact, y'all, it was a bed couch, a pull-out couch. So that was a blessing, for whenever company, because we had a one bedroom, so like we needed something for company. And me, like I told y'all before, I always used to keep my little cousins, so I was like, I want to still get them every weekend. I want to still get them. And so we had that pull-out couch, we had tables, our house was so cute. It was so cute, y'all. And we built that home together, and it was nice. Like I said, we still haven't had any major arguments, no major fights. And if we did, I'm gonna say if I did have any issue with him, he never like raised his voice at me. He would always like, kid, really kid, And it was never nothing like nothing huge, nothing like red flag, red flag, red flag, But the red flag was that he fought his dad. He fought his dad. He didn't take accountability for that, and I ended up having to get him out of jail. That was a red flag as well, but I just brushed it under the rug, like, feeling like I'm about to die. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make this with you. You my dude. So then, everything was good. We were working, doing our thing. Man, we really struggled together, but we really came a long way. I think we had ended up getting us a car. Yeah. He used my tax. Oh, I remember this so good now. Oh my god. Okay, he used my tax money to get a car. Plus, it's been for us. But I didn't have my license, so he drove it all the time. And I don't even remember if he had a license or not, but he drove it all the time. I started to realize he was like becoming more controlling. I started to realize like he wouldn't let me drive the car, and I started to realize he was starting to become controlling. But anyway, I just whatever. Whatever. And so we ended up having a car because before that we was catching a bus to work, and I remember even walking to work. Again, Baker's Pride was up the strip from where we lived. Far, far, far up the strip though, and Dairy Queen was up the strip as well. And so I would walk him, halfway, and then I would walk the rest of the way. Or no, I'm lying, y'all. He would walk me all the way to work, and then he would walk back. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but we ended up getting a car pass too. Like I was one praying woman. Like one thing about me, I prayed. I pray for every man I get with, because in my mind we're married. Like one of the other things, y'all. What the hell? I haven't had one come out of my mouth since forever. In my mind, you're my person. We're in this together. We're married already. In my mind, like so. I'm gonna be there for you. We in this and whatever. So, I would pray. So hard on our union and us to be blessed, and we were blessed, And I was also I'm also a giving woman. Like I love to give to people. I would see homeless people and I would give them our last. He used to hate that, but that's how I was. I'm like, look, we have, like, they don't, so like, why not give it to them, you know? Anyway, and so we just were receiving our blessings back to 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 back. I was so grateful for that. You know, God really worked and showed out in that relationship. Okay, so he started to move up in his position at Dairy Queen. Um, he started to move up in his position, and you know, I started to have certain dreams. I started to feel my intuition was just telling me certain things, you know, and I started to observe his behavior. Um, he would, cause you know, I don't know why when men get with me, they lie about smoking weed. I don't know why. Well, in the past they did. They used to lie about smoking weed, you know. So like he never used to smoke around me, but he's always like come home high, you know, and I could tell. And which is no, it's I'm not. What can I do? Like, you know, I don't know. I don't understand why people lie to me. I don't understand. I don't understand why people lie to me. But anyways, I started to notice his behavior changing, whatever like that. But you know, and we was having sex less, and he would come home smelling like Febreze. No. He sprayed stuff with Febreze before he would leave to go to work. Cause he wasn't like a cologne wearer, but he used to spray stuff with Febreze before. I was like, who you trying to smell good for? You know, like you work at a restaurant, like what? Um, but yeah, and certain stuff like that, and so he wasn't being honest about these things, and I would get pissed off. I'm like, I know what I'm dreaming, I know what I'm feeling, I know what's, you know, and he'd be like, you know, kid, it's nothing, kid, stop, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so we had ended up getting engaged. I remember, we was at his mom's house, and he was like, kid, you know, would you marry me? You know, and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm about to say his name again, shit. I was like, okay, you know, just okay, yeah. You know, at this point, we were like a year and a half in, and I'm like, okay, sure, whatever, you know, yes. It wasn't like the ideal um, situation. I've been proposed to before, and that was more romantic than this proposal was, but, you know, and that one when I was in high school, you know, so it's just like, But I was just like, whatever. I don't, you know, when I'm in it, like I was in it enough to like want to be his life partner, you know. And then the ring eventually ended up coming, you know, and I ended up telling everybody about it, telling my church about it and stuff, and they were so excited about it. And so we planned a date. We sat down with my pastor. Okay, mind you, he had a church as well where his church family, you know, we used to go to their church as well on some Sundays, and we went to my church on some Sundays, whatever. And his church family, they were so sweet. Like I love them so much. I still love them to this day. But my pastor, he sat down with us, and he was just like, you know, y'all have to, all right, now y'all are, you know, y'all growing up, y'all have to get together and this and that. And he told me I had to dress different, and so I was changing up my life, trying to get prepared to be a wife, you know. But my intuition still told me other things. My dreams still told me other things. I still had dreams. I didn't tell you about my dreams. I would have dreams that he was sleeping with people on their job. I had dreams that he got women pregnant. I had dreams that I fought women because of him. I just had different dreams about women. I never had dreams before, but I had the dreams here. Okay, so right before, listen, y'all, it was like a week before our wedding. Mind you, I mean, we were about to get married pretty quick. My church members, they were so excited. They had a church all decorated for the wedding. It was like a week before the wedding. I prayed to God, like, Lord, if I'm not supposed to marry this man, let me know. And I was like, Lord, if he's hiding something from me, Lord, let that be brought out before we even get married. And yeah, so one morning I woke up. I was off from work, and I woke up, and something said, go to Jordan's job. Oh shit! Go to JJ's job. What was his name? Oh my god. And I got up and I walked my tail to his job. I walked up to his job and I went inside and let me tell you for a little bit. Okay, so there were some Sundays where you could not go to church with me, and I would go to church with my grandma, and after church she would take me to his job to get ice cream for the kids. And he would bring the ice cream out. You know, he would speak and bring the ice cream out. But he had become used to me coming on Sundays. But this was a weekday, or this was a Saturday. I forgot what day it was, but I came, he was caught him by surprise. So he saw me, again, like I said, no, when he used to come out, kiss me, give me the ice cream, and go back to the back. Well, I went up there this day, and I saw him working in the back, and I came to the front, and the girl at the register was like, looking at me like, and I asked her, I told her, I said, can I speak to Jordan? She's like, you his girlfriend? I said, I'm his fiance. She like, and it was weird that she asked me that, because like, what, you know? And so I went and sat on the patio waiting on him to come out, and then a girl came out to me. She's like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but me and Jordan were sleeping together, and he would take care of me and my kids, and this, and that, blah, 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 blah. I said, oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. And he saw us talking, and then he like kind of like, when she was going back in, he was coming out. And I got up and I walked off, and he chased me home. This man chased me home. He did not clock out. I don't remember him clocking out. I just remember him following me all the way home. And I would say, Jordan, JJ, leave me the fuck alone. Cursing him out on the way, all the way home. Cursing him out. He's like, kid, just listen to me. Kid, just listen to me. What did she say? Kid. I said, so you've been sleeping with this bitch? So you've been sleeping with this bitch? So this is, no, kid, calm down. It's not like the kid, not, I went off. Like I said, I was a hitter. I was hitting him. I was just, and he followed me all the way home again. Like I said, he not clock out, nothing like that. And so he finally admitted to me that he was talking to her, and he was helping. Yes, he was helping her and her kids out because they was homeless, and he was helping them pay for a room and stuff like that. I'm like, what? Again, like, he was very secretive about what he was doing with his money. And I'm not the type of person that would I'm not the type of person that really care about that kind of stuff. You know, at the time I did not care. As long as our bills were paid, you know, whatever. You have your money, I have my money, so like whatever. But I was like, wait a minute, what? And so she did tell me that he had a second phone. I said, where's the other phone at? Where's the other phone at? And he didn't come clean about a lot of stuff, so he went back to work, you know, but he wanted to make sure I was calm first before he went back to work. I messaged the girl on Facebook. She shared with me screenshots of things. She shared with me that they would have sex in the freezer at his job. Okay, and I'm just like, what the fuck kind of hoe is this? Like, this is a nasty hoe, you know. And she knew that he was with me because she said, you his girlfriend, and I'm like, his fiance, you know. I'm sure she probably saw us. I don't know, but so I called the wedding off. I know some women would have stuck it through with their man, and you know, just to have that title to say, okay, I had the ring. I'm not like that. Like, if you gonna cheat on me, you go be with that person, okay? Because I can't let it go. I kept having thoughts of the fact that he would do that, and come home to me. And again, like I said, we were not having sex as often. Well, we were, but it wasn't like as passionate, you know. And again, like, he would come home hot, he would go straight to take a shower, you know. And so when he came home, I showed him the messages, and then he admitted to everything. And this is me, right? We had already built this life together, so I was like, okay, well, the wedding's off, but I'm willing to move forward. It wasn't that easy, like, you know. It took a few days for me to like really think about it and like just like let it go. I'm like, okay, you know, all right. But I wasn't sleeping with him no more after that. After finding that out, I'm like, you know, she can have you, you know. I'm not about to be dealing with that. I'm not about to be competing with no woman, you know, blah blah blah. But he claimed that he wasn't dealing with her no more and blah blah blah. And so I stayed. But what I do is, you know, I just kind of keep I be kind of more guarded, and I try to be more smart in how cause I knew how he was. He had ended up showing me a side of him that was possessive, obsessive, and there was a time where I remember we was at his mom's house, and this was before I was. This was I'm missing so much, y'all. This was before I was working at Biggest Pride. I was working at Kmart, and he left me, kept me hostage in his mom's house. I told him that when my friends from my job gonna pick me up, and he was like, well, kid, I could walk you. I could walk you. I said, I don't feel like I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna get this person to pick me up. So I text the person. It was a guy, but I mean, it was nothing. I needed a ride, and the guy gave me rides before, and he knew about it, but he was like, well, I'm here today. I said he always pick me up, and I said he always dropped me off, but I said I don't feel like walking today. And it was like I said, I was running late, so like, and at this time, we lived with his mom, so like it was like a long strip. It was a really really long strip, and I would not have made it in time. So he kept me stranded in that house for like, I don't know, 2 hours. He had me locked in the bathroom. He took my phone. He wouldn't let me get my phone. He wouldn't let me get out the house. So that was the first time I've seen him in this way. This is before we moved in together and everything. So like, And so I saw that, but I handled it. I'm like, okay, I always let men know I'm not scared of your ass. Like, I will fight you. I will fight you. Don't play with me, But so he held me in the bathroom because he saw that I would fight him. So he held me in the bathroom, and that was the situation. I ended up finally getting away. He followed me with a gun. He had a gun with him, and I saw a police officer, and he ended up running, and the police gave me a ride to work. I told him to go look for his ass because he don't know what he's trying to do with me. Well, but anyway, after that, whatever, I just ended up still being with him, and we ended up moving together. So that happened before we moved together. That happened before we got engaged. Yes. So anyway, called the wedding. Okay, where we ended up fighting at. Okay, here's about the here I want to talk about how I went to jail. So we were living together. Boom. There was a woman who stayed next to his mom that he used to sleep with before he got with me, and I just had a deep feeling that he was still sleeping with her. I just always had that feeling, but I just brushed it under the rug. I had no proof. Well, it was one particular night. Again, we were sleeping together at this point, so it's like, if he was sleeping with other people, then he sleeping with other people. Well, it was one, because I used to do pranks on him. So, like, one night, he was getting off from work, and I was hiding in the bathtub so I could hide from him. So when he came in, I could scare him or whatever. But I was hiding in the bathtub so long that I ended up falling asleep. And I woke up, it was like 1 in the morning. Okay, mind you, like, he used to pull up at 12. He was a closing manager at Dairy Queen, so he had to stay a little longer. So he used to pull like 12:30. But I woke up like 1:30. I'm like, wait a minute, where he at? And then 2 o'clock running around. So I'm like, okay. And so I went out the door, and I went to stand at, it was Little Caesars, like on a strip or where we lived at. I stood there because I'm like, okay, if he coming from this way, he coming from work. If he coming from that way, he coming from his mom's house or possibly that hoochie house. If he come from that way, then he probably coming from dropping his homeboy off. If you come from that way, then I don't know where the hell he come from. I was just standing there trying to figure out where I would hit. And he had a loud car. His energy was real loud, like, you could hear it coming. So I'm like waiting, sitting there waiting. He wasn't answering the phone, mind you. His phone was dead. Sitting there waiting, trying to figure out where he coming from. The dryer. That's how his car sound too. And so I sat there like 3:30 running around. Okay, so I was standing there, and then he ended up coming like out of the apartment complex. He was like, kid. I said, where you came from? He get in the car. So I got in the car, and we got in the house, and I remember just like smelling him. I see his nose, and I smelled his hand. His hands my booty. Okay, I asked him, why the fuck your hands my booty? He was like, oh, I dig the wedgie or whatever. I said, why the fuck did your hands my booty? Like, I just could not get over it. I said, Jordan, why did your hands my booty? JJ, why did your hands my booty? I kept asking over and over again. He just kept. I said, boy, you full of shit. I said, what you was doing? I said, where you came from? Cause I was standing right there waiting on you to come. I said, which way you came from? He said, I went to my mom's house to check on them. You went to my mom's house to check on them. So y'all know what that means. He was not by his mama's house checking on nobody. He was fucking with that girl. That's what I had in my mind. He was messing with that girl. Okay? And again, by this time he had already cheated on me, so like I did not trust him. So I let it go because I went to go to sleep. It was really late. I was so tired. So he slept on the couch. I slept in my bed. Okay. So the next morning, I was calm. I was calm. I had to calm down. And I went to him. I was like, I sat on him. I said, "You ready to talk?" He said, "Kid, leave me alone. Kid, stop. Kid, no. I'm not." So I'm like, "Okay, well, if you want to do what you want to do, I'm going to do what I want to do." I went upstairs. I got on my phone. He came upstairs and flipped the bed over while I'm in the bed. I was in the bed, yeah. And he flipped the bed over. And I got up and I started whooping his ass. I sure was. I sure was. And he was grabbing me and stuff and kept stopping. And I hate feeling restricted, but he was holding me and I was like boxing his head from the back, boxing his head. And so he ended up grabbing by my legs and dragging me down the stairs. At that point, I called the police. And called the police, and then I hung up because I was like, you know what, I'm just going to get ready for work and just go to work. And he was getting ready for work as well, so we were like, we just can go to work. The police ended up calling me. Well, yeah, I had calmed down right there. But before the police called me back, he had said something to make me mad again. So I'm like, okay, you know what, fuck this. So when he called back, I said, he hit me, he did this, this and that, this fight happened, and y'all need to come on. Hung up with them. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to work. I did not know that you can't walk away from the scene after you call the police. I just was like, I'm gonna go to work. So he stayed to the house. He still had to pack up for work, and I ended up walking. I was walking. Well, the police ended up calling my phone and said, hey, man, you can't leave the scene. Come back. And they were like, where are you? So I told them where I was at. They picked me up from where I was at. Brought me back to the house. Well, remember I told y'all when I had to use my rent money to get my jail before? I didn't want to do that again. So I lied to the police. I said, we had a fight. I said, they were like, well, he's pretty bruised. He's pretty abused. Where did you hit him? I said, yeah, I hit him. I said, we were arguing. I hit him, but, we're good. I told him myself, y'all. I told him myself because the bruise, I couldn't lie about that. He was bruised up pretty bad, So they were like, well, man, I'm going to take you in. I was like, oh, shit. So I remember they had like a paddy wagon, and I went inside and I had my arms. And JJ, he was driving off. They let him go to work. And he was like, I'm going to come get you. And I was like, fuck you. I was like, fuck yeah. And so he was like, I'm going to come get you. And I'm like, fuck you, And so he went out to work and I went to jail. Y'all, first time. But luckily I was around some pretty nice ladies, They were so funny. My prison, my jail story was pretty funny. And again, I met some very, very nice ladies. They had a lot of them was in there for, simple stuff, but some of them were in there for like some major, major stuff, and just hearing their stories. And I remember being in there praying for them and just building the bond with them already. Like I was in there for a long time, so I was not that long, y'all. I was in there for only overnight, but that whole night, first night I was there,